the candidate must demonstrate the support of a majority of the delegates from 8 states that are permanently seated. So that vote can't even be taken until the convention. So obviously, no determination can be made until the convention.
So that vote that we thought, or that rule that we thought stood, is not a rule that actually stands?
No, it is a rule that stands, but the rule says specifically that it's a vote of the delegates at the convention to determine if there's a majority.
Voters.
Not a primary vote. The primary votes are not considered. It's the delegates' votes. The delegates cannot vote until they're permanently seated, and that's the first action of the convention. So
going to just send chaos and anger into the Trump supporters and to the people who feel like their votes don't matter.
No, I don't think that's the case. If it would just be understood. We have a problem with the media. Unfortunately, the cable networks are trying to determine our nominee.
I don't think this is a problem with the media. I've heard from a lot of voters who say if they feel like their votes got stolen, that they would be very unhappy and very angry. I think you're looking at a different situation. I realize these have been the rules, but the last time these rules were put in place was 1976. It's been a long time since then.
Yeah, they're still there. Yeah, that's a problem. The media has created the perception that the voters will decide the nomination, and that's the conflict here.
We live in a democratic society. What you're telling me is it's not a democratic society, and your votes don't necessarily matter because it's a democratic representation, correct?
No, that's not what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to say is that we're just one of the political parties. There's many political parties, but political parties choose their nominee, not the general public.
Stop right there. Political parties choose the nominee, not the public. Well, that's news to the public. Why are they going to caucuses and voting?
Sean, we talked about this, and this is one person that has demonstrated no ability to get support on the committee for these ideas. But what is true and what can be confusing to people is that delegates do choose the nominee of our party as empowered by the votes in the states that bind the delegates to the outcome of those votes. And so it is true that delegates hold the voting power on the floor, but that voting power is determined by the voters that are out there across the country. And so there's nothing mysterious about that. And in regard to the rules, listen, I don't favor massive changes in the rules, but what I'll tell you is that the Rules Committee of a convention sets the rules of the convention. The 2012 rules were written by Romney delegates. So Romney won most of the delegates, which means their people put the delegates on the Rules Committee. The Rules Committee in 2012, which was Romney delegates, wrote the rules. They changed the rule from plurality of 5 states to a majority of 8. And so I understand that people are nervous about this rule, but you can't possibly make the argument that the Romney delegates of 2012 should be able to dictate the rules as drafted by the Rules Committee, which will likely be made up of a majority of Trump-Cruz delegates for 2016, are we?
All right, listen, we're out of time. We're going to have to continue this, but I will say this. If that hypothetical, which I think is obviously being played out before our eyes, John Kasich has stated this is where he thinks he can win on the convention floor. John Kasich has won 1 state. If that happens, I am just saying the obvious, that there's going to be so much anger and so much, I think, hostility that I think you will lose the broader part of the Trump-Cruz supporters if that happens. That's my only admonition, my advice.
Together. And I want to keep it together, and that's my goal. Promise you.
All right. Anyway, good to talk to you. Thank you, Rice. 800-941-SEAN.